Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
It's Monday. Oh man. Why is it Monday, Ian? Who invented
Because
Monday?
The inexorable march of time shows no leniency to anyone.
Who invented Monday? How rude of them to have invented Mondays. But hey, we're here, and we got questions.
Might as well make the most of it.
Yep.
Answer some questions from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Indeed, indeed. Let's go ahead and get started off with this one from The Cartoonist. New Indiana Jones trailer dropped, Matlock versus Nazis, and got me thinking, which of the Indiana Jones trilogy do you guys like the most, and what are your favorite bits? If you haven't seen the films, then maybe talk about the fridge logic for 2 minutes.
I can't think of the show or name Matlock without thinking of the bit out of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Matlock, but
I liked Matlock, honestly. Is that weird?
I watched it as a kid, but I can't remember it anymore.
Is that weird?
No. I mean, it was on all the time. But of all the reoccurring detectives that were on daytime TV, I don't remember what his gimmick was.
I don't know. He was old.
Was that it? Was that he was just some charming old dude? Because
yeah,
Columbo had his whole shtick. One more thing, and the cigar, and just him, his caricature. MacGyver had all of his gadgets and getting out of tight spaces. What did Matlock do? Was he just Matlock?
He was just Matlock. I think so.
I mean, even Hercule Poirot was, French, and that's not really a lot. So,
yeah. Matlock was an attorney, not a detective, to be fair.
Well, there you go. That's why. I'm glad the question's about Indiana Jones.
Took me a second to remember. So, anyway,
I never saw the Temple of Doom. That's the only one I haven't seen.
You haven't seen Temple of Doom?
I'm not missing out.
Really? I'm trying to remember, individual ones. I feel like Temple of Doom is the one. That's the one that introduces Short Round and Willie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't hate that one as much as I think other people seem to, but I feel like Last Crusade was sillier than that one, which is funny because they're both pretty silly.
They are, but I don't know. Last Crusade's my favorite of them. Because I like the charm of it. I like the dichotomy between Indy and his father. I like how so much of the movie is taking the piss out of Jones. Here's this rugged adventurer, and he cannot catch a break with his dad.
Yeah.
But when the chips are down, he does something incredibly cool and shows you, yes, he is a superhero. So,
right.
And all the trials to get to the Grail are just freaking cool looking, man.
Mm-hmm.
The invisible walkway, Jehovah begins with an I, all that stuff. Sean Connery beats a plane with seagulls. I mean, come on. Good stuff. And as much as people make fun of Raiders of the Lost Ark for the fact that Indiana Jones could have not done anything and it still would have resolved itself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a fun factoid than it is a detriment to the plot, I guess. I don't know. You're engaged with Indy's struggle. It's not supposed to be about the pragmatism of the plot construction. You're worried about how he's going to persevere in his own personal adventure.
Yeah, it's more about the journey than the ending of Raiders, but I think I like Raiders the best, personally.
Fair enough.
Just in terms of a film,
Yeah.
And I know that's like the cop-out answer, I feel like, because it's considered one of the best movies of all time. But I don't know, it seems like Last Crusade seems to be very split. Like either you love it or you hate it.
Mm.
And I think Temple of Doom tends to be looked down on. And I think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull gets a lot more crap than it deserves. It's not a great movie. It's not. No. I wouldn't even call it a good movie.
No.
But, I mean, based on all of the other supernatural weirdness and crap from the earlier movies, are aliens really all that outlandish to introduce? Like,
I guess not.
Compared
I feel like
to the rest,
of the other,
it's not really.
A lot of the other mysticism in the movies, I feel like, is more grounded. It's built within the idea of there are things in our world that we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Ancient Aliens that are made of crystal is a little on the edge. It's very subjective. For me, it was the over-reliance on the CG stuff
Well,
for
yeah.
all the big stunt moments. There was no peril. It was like watching a ride. It was
Yeah, I will definitely give it that. The whole getting into a fridge to try and survive a nuclear blast. And having it actually work is what? Wait a minute.
But I mean, you compare the high-speed Jeep through the jungle fight with all the swords and the vines and that stuff, and compare it to the tank fight.
Right, yeah.
And which one gets you more energized? Which one is more perilous? And granted, people almost really did get hurt on the tank fight, but I don't know. I don't know if I really want to say it's worth people possibly getting hurt for my entertainment. That is not a good takeaway, but there's something lost in the CG. And looking at the trailer for the next one and just how much they have to animate Harrison Ford so that he can do things is, I don't know. I'm not saying the man shouldn't have work, that he shouldn't continue the role if he wants to, but he's an older gentleman, and there's no way I can finish that sentence without being an ageist. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know how I feel about it either, but I mean,
the whole tone of the trailer almost seemed desperate. I want to go back to these old days. I want to relive these adventures. I want to have Indiana Jones as it used to be. And I get it, but you can't.
No.
Time moves on. And Shia LaBeouf aside, the idea that the franchise needs to grow and change is a valid one. If you want to keep it, it could be perfectly fine just as it is. But no, we gotta squeeze blood from that turnip.
You know what's funny is that if he were more popular at the time, I think Indiana Jones' son would have been Chris Pratt.
God.
Let that sink in a little bit. Here's this question from Windstar Osprey. Since the Diamond Cutters are more like professional soldiers, were they, for lack of a better word, grittier compared to Sonic & Co.? Would they be more willing to kill their enemies, make difficult, more morally ambiguous decisions, or even be more ruthless if it was necessary? Because after learning Mimic escaped and getting her Wisp's friends stolen by Surge, I am very concerned for Whisper's psychological well-being. Never again.
No, the Diamond Cutters were pretty much on the same lines as Sonic and his friends. They were benevolent heroes through and through. The type to make their last stand against impossible odds to save the orphanage full of puppies. Now, are the puppies orphans? I don't know. This is Sonic's world. It could go either way. But they were perhaps more organized and pragmatic in their efforts, but they were on the same wavelength as Sonic and company. Mimic was the outlier. He's a jerk. And Whisper's been through a lot. So she has taken a journey from that initial mindset.
Doesn't Whisper have a body count? Like, canonically?
Not that I can immediately think of. They fought robots. They fought Eggman.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. People are saying that she does. You guys are wrong, I guess.
Maybe there's a line in there I don't remember, but I don't think she's said to have killed anybody.
Okay. If you say so. She should have killed Eggman. Mimic. Yeah. On to the next one, I guess. Here's a question from Way Past Ordinary. Hi, given the ages are removed from Sonic Channel, can we assume characters like Sonic and Amy are about the same age? Thanks.
I don't assume anything. Just don't worry about it right now. Kind of, in addition to everything is canon, start adopting the philosophy of don't worry, be happy.
Good luck with that.
The listed ages aren't online, so don't spend any time worrying about it. Don't worry, be happy. The shipping wars are just no fun. Everyone can be with everyone. Don't worry, be happy. Everything's canon. Do, 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 do. Don't worry. Do, 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 do. Be happy. Do, 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 do.
Here's a question from Uni. I'm a huge RPG fan, so I'm always a bit sad when I hear about how bad Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood was. Do you think a JRPG style game with any of the Sonic cast could work well? I feel like you could get a ton more character moments in a game like that. Do you think Sonic and Friends skills / powers could work for a turn-based RPG? Or would you need more action RPG elements to really make it feel authentic?
Said it before, said it again. I think a Tales of Engine Run Sonic game RPG would work. And thinking specifically more along the lines of Abyss and Vesperia, more than and maybe Zestiria. Not Zestiria. No, Zillia. Yeah, I don't know about Berseria and Zestiria. I mean, they were no. We're getting too in the weeds already. Something that moves where the combat is, very Smash Brothers-esque. It moves along a 2D plane, but it's within a 3D field that you can manipulate, and something that can go very simple and very complex depending on how much you want to put into it. So if you want to cater to the general Sonic fan base who may not have really touched RPGs, then, normal attack, special. Get you through most of it, and you can brute force it if you want to. Give it an easy mode if you want. And then if you want to be more technical, add in the way that the combo counter can build, that you can switch between characters, that you can use different specials to lead into different combos. Add in your elemental side or your guard breaks or whatever, and your tech tree, however the equipment can help boost it up. Finding that balance between something that's accessible and technical is very difficult. I do not have the answer myself, but I feel like the underlying element of an action RPG like the Tales of series would work for Sonic. I think the core idea behind Dark Brotherhood wasn't flawed. A kind of Paper Mario-esque RPG where it is turn-based, but you are more active in your inputs rather than just cycle through menu options, I think isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But where Paper Mario excels is that all of its inputs are very short and snappy. There's a very immediate feel of your input to your action, and then it's done and you move on. And one of the things Dark Brotherhood kind of leaned on was a lot of these multi-tap inputs that didn't feel like the actions you were taking and were a chore to repeat over and over again. So turn-based could potentially work, but it needs to have a little more snap to it like the Paper Marios.
Yeah. All right, here's a question from True Cosmic Digi. How would Sonic deal with all of the Lovecraftian stuff, including Mobian Lovecraft people? What if Sonic saved a famous candy maker that a Mobian hedgehog like Sonic, while he tested one on Sonic Squills in secret with one of his own, he just smiled, then I've Sonic a group of islands of his own with the candy maker family. It'd be a great time for Sonic Tangle Whisper Landlin first mainline adventure.
Normally I'd flag this as I can't accept fan ideas, but I can safely say I don't know what you're trying to convey. So we'll go with the first bit, because I'm really tickled by the idea of a Mobian Cthulhu.
Okay.
Just like imagine the Forces Avatar Maker, your little noodle limbs, your basic gloves and shoes, and then the horrible squid head with the little winglings.
Why not?
Call him Squiggles. Squiggles the Cthulhu.
Wiggles. All right. I mean, sure.
How you doing, Squiggles? Yeah, me too, buddy.
Yep, it's true. There we go. Squiggles now the bestest friend.
Eggman flies in, gloating. You'll never be able to stop the unspeakable darkness I've unleashed from the planet. Oh, wait. Squiggles, what are you doing with him?
Oh, no.
I thought we had a plan. I thought we had a deal.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Doc, but I taught him the true superpower of teamwork and chili dogs. Ain't that right, Squiggles?
It's true.
I know the whole Lovecraftian thing is based on the terror of the unknowable, but I'm still very tickled by the idea of just, there's a Lovecraftian horror that is just chilling around, and he's one of the gang. Like, super normalize it.
I've received word that you've scared your cat.
Sorry, buddy.
Uh-oh. Poor guy. Here's a question from Speedweed. Ian, will we ever see you and Aaliyah get back into the Mega Man scene? Could be anything, games or comics or the likes, but man, do I miss your guys writing on the franchise.
I mean, we're both game for it. It's up to Capcom and whatever licensor happens to get on board with them.
Somebody do it. Somebody at Capcom, remember. Remember. Hey, the Mega Man comic is on hiatus, right? Right? No. No. Guys, no. Here's a question from Slashy. What do you think of the headcanon that Amy is trans? It could be a way of explaining her appearance, disparity/redesign, since it wasn't just her outfit that changed, but her physical features too, like her quills and panties, which weren't in her Sonic the Fighters model.
Number one, I am not going to validate or throw away anyone's particular headcanon. You think what you want to do. Number two, there's nothing wrong with characters being trans or folks being trans at all. Trans people are people. Three, I have no idea where you're coming from with this. I gotta be perfectly honest. Like I'm looking at this from both directions and I don't see where you're coming from. I see nothing there at all. And if you're trying to cite, a lack of a texture in Sonic the Fighters, she also didn't have any pigmentation in her face. That doesn't mean she was like albino coated. I don't see it. So if that makes sense to you, then okay, you do you.
There's no real previous precedent. I don't know. A character redesign still reflecting the same gender does not seem to be a suggestion that they are trans. They could be trans. That's your headcanon. Don't let anybody stop you. Headcanons are fun. They exist for a reason, but it is a headcanon. All right, let's go and take a quick break, and we'll be back with more on the BumbleKast. We are back with a question from Scourge Time. It's almost Christmas time. While Sonic and his friends enjoy this time of year with presents and joy, how would Christmas be on Moebius? What kinds of twists does the time of year have? Bonus question, what is Scourge doing on Christmas?
Well, if the holiday season is one to be of togetherness and charity and gift giving and thankfulness for our general community, then on Anti-Mobius it would be a free-for-all. It'd be the purge, basically. Everyone making a concentrated effort to get theirs at the expense of everyone else.
Anti-Christmas.
And yeah, and Scourge is going to be, number one in that. Are you kidding? I mean, that kind of lawless anarchy is kind of how that world works anyway, but that's more of just subsistence. This is like Black Friday all day with a passion.
This is endorsed murder. Yes, please murder, please kill. That's the point.
Or maybe instead of going the most obvious route,
oh yeah,
maybe it is a season of community and gift giving and rebuilding, because that's the one day where you prepare for the rest of the year. You spend 364 days out of the Mobian calendar tearing it down. This is the one day where everyone's like, fine, goodwill towards each other because we got to rebuild the infrastructure. Fine.
And that's how their world manages to just barely stay functional.
Scourge is still trying to steal and rob and vandalize. He's not going to stop. He just sees everybody as easy pickings this day.
Well, I mean, Scourge is just the Grinch.
Yeah.
I like that. That is funny. He is green even.
On that day, Scourge stole 3 heart transplants that day.
Wow, only 3? Damn, he sucks.
What, you think transplants actually work in that world? Screw you, I'm dying. I'm taking my organs with me.
Good point.
But you could save a life. Good.
Could save a life. I'm not going to. Wow. That's a kind of frightening. I like it, but it's scary. Scary to think about. Dang. The world's terrible. All right. Here's a question from Puppy the Scholar. If you can remember, what happened in 30 years later that Rutan and Liandar were separated? I always have trouble wrapping my brain around it.
It has been a while, but I think the idea was that, Liandar was the top enforcer to the oppressive regime. That regime was toppled, so she had to go into hiding and had to leave her family behind.
Okay. I guess that makes enough sense.
I think.
I can't even remember who Rutan was.
It was her kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even remember that she had a kid. 30 years later was weird. And so was 25 years later, for that matter. Here's Noni. What were the favorite shaved ice flavors the Diamond Cutters had?
I don't know. Let's be lazy and color code them. So Smithy liked raspberry, and Slinger liked very electric blue blueberry, and Claire liked lime, and Mimic liked betrayal.
A dish best served cold.
Or he put all the flavors together as one. When you're a shapeshifter, why choose one?
It's true. It's true. What about Whisper? Did you say Whisper?
I guess lemon.
Okay. Mimic liked all colors. All right. Here's the question from Many Hats. If Shadow was released during the classic saga, would he look like classic Sonic or have his modern appearance? What kind of radiation caused the people of Earth to grow 2 feet and gain eye colors between Sonic Mania and Sonic 4?
Yeah, I guess if Shadow were released in the classic era, he'd be all round and stubby.
Maybe.
So, that's a fun idea.
I've seen other people headcanoning classic Sonic meeting Shadow, and Shadow has his normal design.
As for the visual difference, just don't worry, to be happy.
It's an art style shift and not an actual shift of how they canonically look. I don't know.
Classic and modern Sonic are the same size. I don't want to hear any more about green eyes. Don't worry. To be happy.
Boy. Here's one from Levi C. What is the timeline order of the new Sonic stuff released in November and December of 2022?
I'm assuming you mean Frontier stuff?
I guess.
In which case, Tails Tube, the comic, the initial cutscene out of the game, Knuckles is special, and then everything else is straightforward.
Don't worry. Be happy.
To be happy.
Keeper of Monsters has a question. IDW has hypothetically been given permission to make a Godzilla and Sonic crossover, and you have complete access to any monster on either side, including seemingly impossible ones like Dark Gaia. What is the dream fight? Ghidorah versus Dark Gaia? Giant Zavok versus Jet Jaguar? Biollante versus Water Biollante? I mean, Perfect Chaos?
See, I was thinking the Super Hedgehogs versus King Ghidorah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
the
like the
Trinity
obvious
versus the Golden Trinity.
That's the obvious finale, but you know,
I hadn't even considered like Giant Zavok versus Jet Jaguar. I now want to see that now.
I know, that sounds great.
I mean, that's splendiferous. Metal Overlord versus Gigan, maybe.
I figure Metal Overlord versus Mecha Godzilla would be fun.
Yeah, I guess that's more thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
Can Angarius just learn to do a spin dash from Sonic? Can we have that moment? Drop dash Angarius.
Amazing. Yeah. I'm receiving thoughts of like Super Godzilla. Like, Godzilla powered up with 7 Chaos Emeralds. That sounds frightening, but also amazing.
You say Biollante and Perfect Chaos. What if Biollante absorbs all that water and you get perfect Biollante?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. What have you done?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, Ian. You've done it. It's Godzilla versus BioLizard all over again.
I feel like there's some parallel to be made with Space Godzilla and Mephiles, but with all their crystalline constructs.
Yeah.
Not quite find it, because Mephiles, he had some weird forms, but he never got, like, that big.
Well, who cares?
Well, I know.
It's not canon anyway.
I guess.
Make them big, Ian. Don't try and make the Ridley argument here, in reverse. The reverse Ridley argument, I suppose.
Here you go.
Ridley's
That's how
too
it
big.
works.
Mm-hmm.
Mephiles got his form by taking Shadow's shade. So he decides that he's going to go one step further, and he takes Godzilla's shade.
There you go.
And now you've got big old Mephiles-zilla. And I don't know, he teams up with Space Godzilla. I don't know. It doesn't need to make sense. It's just stupid monster fights.
Death Egg Robot has to be in there somewhere. I know.
Death Egg Robot's so tiny, though.
Well, maybe
comparison.
Eggman just makes a bigger one. He's capable.
The Death Egg descends from orbit, and you're like, why is it getting so close? And then you see the body rise up to meet it, and then you have a true Death Egg robot. Appropriate kaiju size.
I love it. Yes, please. I think it's time for that.
Sonic grabs like 5 of those size up monitors out of Chaotix, while also Werehog. And then you have Giant Werehog versus King Kong.
Wait a minute. I don't know if King Kong could be in this. That's another
Screw the
license.
rules, I want monkey.
You gotta have a monkey on the cover, I guess. It's comics. That's how you sell comics. Oh man. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's make it happen. Come on, IDW and Toho. Come on, do it. Here's one from James. When writing Sonic, best blue boy, how do you come up with his jokes and third-degree burning roasts? Do they come naturally, or does it take a bit to think up one?
Typically they come naturally, and sometimes I do have to, sit and stew for a minute. That's the beautiful thing about writing, is that, provided you have enough time, you can think about it and let the ideas come to you. I'm not nearly that witty on the fly. Like, Sonic is the embodiment of everything I wish I could say on the road right as it happens. Guy cuts you off and you're like, and then 2 days later, that's what I should have said to him. Yeah, that would have showed him. Sonic has it immediately.
Yeah. I'm just not witty at all, so I try, but man, sometimes it's hard to think of a good thing. So, all right, let's get into the Frontier spoiler zone. It's time for Frontiers spoilers. Warning! Sonic Frontiers spoilers ahead. If you've not played the game yet, or partaken in any spoilers and don't want to be spoiled, then we'll see you next time. But if you do want to be spoiled, or if you've already played the game, or whatever, I don't know, I can't stop you, then stick around. Here's this one from Wheelie Doe. At the end of Sonic Frontiers, Eggman manages to recover Sage on his own computer, apparently. However, the symbol at the end is bugging me. We don't exactly know what that symbol means from what is provided in the game, but from all known appearances, it seems to appear whenever the Coco memories finish and head back into cyberspace, where they were presumably recorded. Does this mean that Sage was recovered using the same technology, and if so, what are the implications? Are the recordings from cyberspace enough to preserve a person's entire being and possibly recreate them from the ground up? Or is it like the Coco themselves, where their past experiences and dreams are what they dwell on, but never move forward from the past? Hermit and Elder Coco seem to be the only Coco who have seemingly become aware of their new roles in the world.
Yeah, it's really mysterious, ain't it?
Interesting.
I don't mean to be coy, but, there's DLC on the way, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about that right now.
Hashtag knowing smile. Here's a question from Scurvy Pirate Dog. Wasn't sure about asking this, but since more people worry about this, I thought it'd be nice to have some confirmation. Eggman. He's a ruthless monster bent on world domination. He's torn the planet apart, unleashed gods of destruction, and we'd love him for that. He's the villain you love to hate. But with Frontiers and the thing with Sage and how he was kind of subdued, some people worry now that he's going to go soft, lose his edge, and nobody wants that. We love him as that cruel, evil villain. So could you just maybe confirm that the cruel monster we love is still there? That's what we love about him after all.
Now, I can't speak to the general direction of the entire franchise, but my thinking is this is only going to make him worse. You've seen what kind of devastation he's wrought just to fulfill his own needs. What happens when Daddy's little girl wants something?
Oh no. Oh no.
What if Sage just decides she doesn't like the shape of that continent one day? It is illogical.
Oh no.
With enough ordnance, he could bomb everything into the proper shape, now couldn't he?
Oh no. Ian, what have you done? What have you done? What have you brought on us?
He throws out waves upon waves of robots that he's annoyed that get destroyed. But if Sonic were to perhaps, possibly, slightly scramble the signal for his little precious angel, what do you think he's gonna do?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But I thought Sage was good now.
Why?
I don't know. Does blue mean she's good? She turned blue, right? I don't know.
And then she blowed up. And then some form came back.
That's a good point.
Under Eggman's guidance.
Yeah. Good point. I like this one in the chat room, this quote. The child wants McDonald's, and so help me, thousands will die to ensure she's first in line. Very good.
Mr. President, I have an ultimatum. You see, my daughter didn't want pickles. I demand full control over your government and...
Yes. All right, and our last question today comes to us from Jolene B. In one of his egg memos in Frontiers, Eggman mentions that the ancients predate the Babylonians, the Black Arms, and the Echidnas. Given that Sonic Chronicles had the Echidnas as the fourth great civilization, well, I'm not sure that you can necessarily answer whether the implication was intentional, but is this a #knowing smile situation?
No, because Sonic Chronicles is not canon. You can disregard everything in that game.
I feel like that's a misdirect.
No, that's a straight answer. Don't look at that game for any canon.
Not even the cannons that fire things?
Nothing.
No? Okay, fine. Okay, if you say so. Anyway, that's it for this edition of the BumbleKast.
Before we go, we need to give a big thank you to all the folks who support the show over on patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Big thank you to Daniel H., James K., Jennifer R., John B., Robotnik Home, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torchbound, Mike B., Dave M., Andrew D., Salucha Cat, Coupling Crew 128, Jay Frost, Do As Diz Den, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Noni, Chris A., Sony, Triforce Riku, John M., Jib, Yummy, Fiona M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Ben Wolfsbane, Sonic, Chevelle, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Keeper of Monsters, Axis, Arc Fighter, Xander O'Neill the Painter, Tick Tick, Jonathan D., The Name is X, Nimmer, Godzilla, Nando, Quaggle Gaggle, Starlight Sec, Cameron H., Justin S., Twilord, Ava Arctic, Dove, Alex G.S., Just a Mountain Soul, Dabbler the Dalek, Sonic Legacy, Chaos Sonic 1, Pedantic Cat, The Disgayan, Red the Supernamic, Les, Jennifer H., Chad, Jolene B., Alpha 1 or Yukon, Ink Thinks, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Dapper Shinks, Of the Stars, Preston M., Noah S., and Tails, Sonic 84, Kojiro Highland, Awesome Cakester, Supersonic Fan, Derusivo, Radri, Yuma221, Chase L., Callum Q., KJB, Red Wolf, Wild 48, Nova Polyduo, Chaos Shadow, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exidel, Agent Kaz, For Sonic Fan, Rhythm Raccoon, Poppy the Scholar, Big Dan 20, In Zephyr, The Marble Gardener, Mox, Mickey Sawdust, ONBD, Timista James, Endabend, Oz Jam, Shimmy M, Curly Quills, Angela V, Vlad Crooker, Wildcard 717, Z Broadcast, IPC, Smiley 21, Sammy S, Bushmitten, Michael P, Sterling Sonic, Jack C, Wheelie Doe, Sandra B H, Conga, Rocketman, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Padge, Delta God 77, Thigolf, Philip is Cold, The Crucified Devil, Loop D Loop, Omega Man 21, Lacey M, Dominic the Raccoon, Planet Breezy, Caswell, Mr. Murderbird, The Giant Murdering Bird, Unikitty, Keydrian, Lori L, Native Nerd 27, Jason G, Cody G, Lucky Lychee, Is It Time If She Only Knew, Tetsu Knife, Ultra Guy, Hip Kid Brick, Levi C, Crowbo, Nils, Sonic Mania 2099, Hadronis, Noob 600, Solato 02, Paley, Bug Party, Guts, The Cartoonist, Way Past Ordinary, Speedweed, Scourge Time, Slashy, Many Hats, Dallin, Definitely Not a Worm, Black Doom, Happy Times, Danny the Light, True Sonic, Digilab 79, Zapon Syrian, Cardio, Sonic Bot, El Technopada, Buttered Noodles, Frost the Hobbidon, Metamode, Wheels 282, Hedgehog, and Jamal S.
That list is how, Ian? How is that list?
That list is 174 wonderfully supportive people. So thank you so much.
174. Wow. Wow. I'm going to go into shock right now. So you close the show.
Alrighty. While Kyle collapses, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast. No, Kyle, don't bite your tongue. Kyle, stop it. Drop it. Drop it.
That is a lot of names.
It is.
Let's not kid ourselves. I remember you could read it in one breath and it was like 20.
Hopefully this kicks in quickly.
Well, I mean, you'll still be talking to me, so it can only be so effective.
You're just conveying the questions. I'm not going to shoot the messenger.
Well, maybe you should. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Excuse me. Why did I kill Antoine? He annoyed me. He was too French.